You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week.
Hello everyone, I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week. Enough is enough. That's the message from a Sacramento business owner now fed up with the city's homeless crisis. Plus, in dollars and cents, the interest rates on store credit cards are increasing. What you need to know to keep your spending in check. Then on the back roads, we head to Napa County to see the other glass beach in California. ABC10 Plus This Week starts now. We're going inside the Sacramento Police Department's Real-Time Information Center as they prepare to roll out the new public safety camera network. The idea is to get as many existing cameras as possible from neighborhoods, businesses, and the government all on one computer system known as Fusus.
Basically a network of cameras throughout our community, all tied into one ecosystem.
Police tell me their goal is to quickly get their hands on videos that may have captured crimes by creating a public-private partnership with law enforcement, giving them permission to access cameras in advance.
So let's say hypothetically we're looking here at Capitol and 9th Street. Let's say hypothetically our officers were dispatched to an incident here. What our officers could do, or if we had officers here in the Real-Time Information Center, they could bring up the map of that location and look to see if there are any cameras at that location. And as you can see, they're here. So they click on those cameras and you get a live feed. Our officers get a live feed of what's going on in that intersection.
We're told all patrol cars will have access to the new technology. It comes at a cost of about $300,000 over the next 3 years. And they insist it's worth it.
Yeah, you know, I think when we talk about worth, what are we talking about here? We're talking about safety. Safety for the community, safety for our officers. They have the ability to have a call for service come in. Maybe it's a crime in progress, maybe it's a violent crime in progress. Have an officer pull over on the side of the road, pull up the cameras in that area and start relaying information to our officers in real time. That's invaluable.
Police admit the network does use artificial intelligence, or AI, to quickly search video for things like specific car colors to help identify suspects and vehicles associated with crimes. The Electronic Frontier Foundation released this statement, saying police surveillance threatens constitutionally protected activities. They add Fusus is compounding issues by expanding police access to surveillance cameras and integrating the cameras with a number of other surveillance services. This increases the ways police are able to record, track, and marginalize communities. Many of these data feeds are being further analyzed by black box AI systems, which rely on mass surveillance, create opportunities for misidentification, and can undermine due process protections. Talk about those who have concerns about officers spying on the community.
Absolutely. That's a very valid concern when you talk about technology and government, right? We talk about Big Brother. We hear that term quite often. Well, I can tell you a couple things, Chris. One, the city of Sacramento is extremely busy. We have a very high call volume and we're short staffed, so I can assure you that officers aren't going to have time to pull over and just spy on people. Additionally, when we're looking at the camera network, it's in response to a call for service, and we have audit systems in place. We also have fail-safes in place to help prevent the likelihood of some misuse happening. But additionally, if somebody accuses, let's say me, of misusing it, they can quickly go on the back end and they can see when I logged in, what I searched, what I did, to the very minute detail.
Sacramento police tell me the system is already in use by more than 70 police departments across the nation, and they say it's a completely voluntary system for members of the community.
A business can give us full access, they can give us limited access, they can revoke access at any time. This gives us just maybe that 1% chance of having a better picture what we're walking into just by having this system right here.
I mean, it's only as good as those who actually engage and participate.
Absolutely. It's only as good as a couple things. It's only as good as one, the officers that actually pull over and take the time to use it, and two, the community members that entrust the police department, sign up, buy a core through the public safety camera network system, and then give us access.
Effectively expanding the reach of police across the capital city.
We're being transparent, that we're being accountable, and we're using it to further the mission of the police department in keeping our community safe and solving crime.
The Electronic Frontier Foundation says deciding to expand police video surveillance to every corner of our lives should never happen without strong community conversation and transparency. Meanwhile, the police department tells me they value community feedback and they'll post updates on their transparency page.
We know solutions to the homelessness crisis are complicated, costly, and slow going. Advocates say that they are doing the work and they know more needs to be done. Others are just fed up with the issues that they see on our streets. ABC 10's Becca Hobbecker followed up with a Sacramento business owner who says that he's not seeing enough change.
We first met Mike Sacca back in April. He owns Golden Corral on West Stockton Boulevard in Sacramento. At the time, he said people in a nearby encampment were leaving trash, causing vandalism and intimidating customers.
They spray paint the building, they've broken windows. This is an ongoing daily thing for us.
After our story aired, he said the camp was cleared, but people and issues have returned.
This pipe here used to connect down to this pipe, 1.5-inch copper piping. This feeds our irrigation.
This week, Sacca found the pipe cut. Recently, he arrived at work to find the windows of his restaurant's vehicle shattered, a $2,500 repair. He says this RV had been trespassing on his property and police just moved it onto the neighboring property. These tents line the fence near his restaurant.
I've tried to reach out to 311.
As the city tells people to do when reporting non-emergency homeless encampment issues.
I've been sending in the emails and making the phone calls, but I don't get any response.
The city tells ABC 10 they have responded to his reports. Since August 1st, the city's incident management team has responded to 59 calls for service in this area, made through 311 on 18 different days. Response efforts have included outreach to connect people experiencing homelessness with available services, as well as achieving compliance with city laws and ordinances. They say the city has removed 31 cubic yards of solid waste from the area, though that could include the areas near but not adjacent to Sacca's property.
It isn't an overnight fix.
Kate Paulson is with Sacramento County's Homeless Engagement and Response Team, or HEART. The team does mental health outreach to the unhoused population through Sacramento's city-county partnership, including at the encampment near Golden Corral.
We visited that area 10 times between March and May, and it is an area still on the radar.
Paulson says her team has 40 behavioral health beds and hopes to add more, but with no timeline, some see the pace as too slow.
It's not just housing, it's not just mental health, it's not just substance use, it's all of those things combined.
Becca Hobbecker, ABC 10.
The city says it responds daily to 311 calls in all 8 council districts of Sacramento. And so far this year, the incident management team has responded to more than 30,000 calls for service.
Well, new tonight, 10 on Your Side is getting results for a PG&E customer who says the company's efforts to prevent fires may have been adding to the problem.
Water bottles all over, tree branches hidden behind shrubs.
Justin Chrysler was outraged and sent 10 on Your Side this email saying, "I'm reaching out to see if you all would want to cover PG&E contractors coming out for jobs, then leaving the jobs unfinished with wood, debris, and trash on properties next to power poles to fuel future fires."
Tree work left everywhere and just an absolute mess.
He shared these pictures of the wood lining his property, saying he was concerned about safety.
By the time I get home, I don't want to have to go out and finish a job, especially for the amount of money that we fork out for PG&E.
We went straight to PG&E for answers on these images. They released this statement saying, "I have good news. Our customer care team has made contact with Mr. Chrysler and we've worked out a solution. For context, wood greater than 4 inches in diameter could potentially have marketable value, so the PG&E policy is to leave it on the customer's property. However, in certain circumstances, this doesn't work for the customer, and we make safety exceptions, usually if the wood is within the defensible space of a permanent structure." We reached out to Mr. Chrysler, and he filled out a wood management form that would allow PG&E to return to his property to pack up the wood and remove it for him. We'll be seeing him this week to get everything taken care of.
That plan happened I think it was on Friday of last week.
10 on Your Side getting results in a matter of days after Mr. Chrysler says he tried multiple times with no response.
I do appreciate that they're trying to get on it now that we're, for lack of better terms, putting the fire to them. You know?
And do you have a problem and don't know where else to turn? 10 on Your Side can help. Email me at onyourside@abc10.com.
In tonight's Dollars and Cents, just when you thought things couldn't get more expensive, interest rates on store credit cards are on the rise. Some stores are now charging more than 35% interest. This as more Americans are going into credit card debt. A new study by Bankrate shows 2 in 5 credit card holders, or 37%, have maxed out a credit card or are close to it. An expert I talked with explains why rates are high and what's being done about it.
Derek, I have some comments here from some frustrated viewers. I'm going to read some to you and get your reaction. One viewer writes, 35% is outrageous. Customers will not be able to dig themselves out of that debt. Another viewer writes, the only time I will use a credit card is if I can pay it off at the end of the month, or one for emergencies only. And then lastly, another viewer writes in, that's why I close all my credit cards and only have one for emergencies, which has never been used. It's ridiculous what they charge. Your reaction?
It's very understandable, I think, to be upset about this.
UC Davis economics professor Derek Stimmel says interest rates on store credit cards are the highest they've ever been since the Federal Reserve has been tracking this information.
To combat that inflation, the Federal Reserve has basically been raising the interest rate that it controls. And when it raises that interest rate, it basically permeates to all the other interest rates in the economy.
A new study from Bankrate shows interest rates on 108 store cards reached a record high. The average rate on a store card was 30.45%. Up from 24.35% in 2021. The highest APR the study found was 35.99% at several stores, including Petco, Big Lots, and Michaels. The study also finds you'll be charged 34.99% at 13 retailers, including JCPenney, TJ Maxx, and Walgreens. Keep in mind, credit cards are a type of loan, and the interest is where credit card companies make their money.
From their point of view, anything that's going to make that loan a little bit riskier, they're going to kind of think about what do we want to do about that. And one thing sometimes that basically the lender will do is they'll raise the interest rate on that loan.
Remember earlier this year, I told you about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's push to lower late fees from an average of $32 to $8. That's still going through the courts, but its potential impact is still being felt now.
There's sort of two ways that the credit card issuers kind of think about this, right? One is, well, if I'm going to lose revenue from the late fees, I need to make up that revenue somewhere else. Maybe I'll charge a little bit higher interest rate on my credit card.
So, what's the best way to use these credit cards?
If you can, when you use your credit card, pay the bill when it comes. Don't carry any balances forward, because when you do that, you're not exposing anything to any of these interest charges.
I know what you might be thinking. The increasing cost of borrowing money might make those buy now, pay later plans seem more appealing. But remember, as I reported last month, banks like Chase are now banning customers from using their bank credit cards to purchase things on a buy now, pay later plan. So certainly, Chris, this is under a lot of scrutiny these days.
And with that being said, I know folks have to wonder, are there any benefits to using these cards?
Yeah, it's a great question. There are apparently a few situations where store cards can really work for you. Some stores, like Target and Best Buy, offer 5% cash back. Experts say if you're a loyal shopper who pays off your balance in full and avoids interest, using a card like that might work for you, especially during the holiday season. Remember, you can see more of my Dollars and Cents stories on the ABC10 Plus streaming app. It's free and available on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. And if you have any questions or story ideas, email me at lpainter@abc10.com.
Flood insurance. Not a lot of Californians have it, but others are required to get it. Some want it, but it's growing increasingly unaffordable. So tonight, ABC 10's Becca Habegger takes us to one small Delta town that's pioneering a whole new approach to make sure that their community is covered.
Welcome to Ileton, with a population of about 800 people.
The city is located on land that's entirely surrounded by rivers and sloughs, meaning they're at the mercy of the levees.
Second year I lived here, the water got right up to the bank over there. Looked like maybe a foot below it. I was very nervous, but my neighbor said, don't worry about it. I've seen it higher, so I trusted her and we got through it.
Iva Walton owns Maywa Beer Room on Main Street and moved to Ileton a decade ago. She's also on the city council and chair of the Delta Region Geologic Hazard Abatement District, or GAD, formed about 2 years ago to address flood risk and flood insurance in the city of Ileton.
Our risk is fairly low in a sense. We're still living on a river and anything is possible.
Long-timers here remember the devastating flood of 1972, when one of the levees surrounding the town broke, ushering in feet of floodwater. Ileton's Mayor Pam Boulahan was 9 when her family had to quickly evacuate. She wasn't available for an on-camera interview, but we spoke by phone.
She says she remembers seeing waves of water rushing across fields toward town. Her family was displaced for 2 years as they rebuilt.
Just recently, the California Department of Insurance announced Ileton is the first and only city in the state piloting a new community-based flood insurance initiative, funded for 2 years by a $200,000 grant from the California Department of Water Resources and implemented by GAD.
Less than half the people who live in Ileton have flood insurance, and they have a very real flood risk. So if something were to happen, it could be catastrophic.
We spoke by phone with UC Davis PhD candidate and researcher Kathleen Schaefer, who is driving this initiative. She says the pilot involves buying a community-wide flood insurance policy, and if floodwaters reach a certain level, all property owners in town will automatically get a payout upfront of up to $10,000 to spend on whatever they need in the immediate aftermath.
It would be a nice assurance that you're not just stuck high, well, I can't say high and dry, but low and wet. You're not just stuck, so there'd be a way to start taking care of yourself, your family, and your property.
Project leaders hope to buy that policy with the grant money by the end of the year.
We want to learn from this so that we can perhaps deploy it throughout the Central Valley.
For now, the pilot is grant funded, but Ileton voters will decide next year whether to continue to fund it through property tax.
Leaders of this pilot project are still working out the details, like how to include renters in this insurance policy. That and more they'll be working on in the coming months. In Ileton, Becca Habiger, ABC 10.
Glass Beach in Fort Bragg, Mendocino County is a wildly popular tourist attraction and the subject of countless social media posts. For years, I thought that was the only glass beach in California, but I was wrong. Well, it's the former dump site that's turned into a glassy trail. John Bartel here, making a little pit stop at the other glass beach. If you follow the sounds of seabirds on the Napa River and Bay Trail in the city of American Canyon, you'll find a well-marked walking trail to Glass Beach. The trail's about a mile long and runs along a wetland which is affected by the Napa River and tidal flows from the San Pablo Bay. You'll pass by a series of pipes that allow the water to flow back and forth with the tide. Glass is everywhere. It's like a football field long or so.
Yeah, it's a good distance.
Jeffrey Freed is the recreational coordinator with the City of American Canyon, and he says Glass Beach's origin story starts back in the 1940s when the area was actually a landfill.
When the landfill was in operation, there was a point where they started separating the glass from the rest of the trash, and they ended up dumping it into a area where there was some tidal influence, and a lot of it got taken out into the Napa River.
Jeff says we're only seeing a portion of the glass dumped here. A lot of it ended up in the Napa River.
Well, if you're wondering how this glass got smooth edges, look no further than the tide behind me. So the rocks kind of tumble along with the glass, and they end up eroding the edges and making it smooth.
So it's sort of like the sand is polishing the glass as the water rushes over it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's not exactly comfortable, but it's not cutting my feet up. The landfill was closed in 1990, which is about the same time the City of American Canyon was incorporated. Jeff says cleaning up the 300-acre dump and restoring the wetlands was one of the first big projects for the new city. So underneath the dirt pile there is the old landfill, and it's still producing gases. And they take those gases and then convert it into electricity. Pretty cool, huh?
We have recaptured this area, restored the wetlands, and now it is a place for people to come and see all the natural beauty that the wetlands have to offer.
Today, Glass Beach is a reminder of the harmful and neglectful past of improper waste disposal. It's also a fun way to look for unique glass pieces.
You take some of this glass home with you to collect, or should you leave it here? You should definitely leave the glass here so that other people can come and enjoy and see all the different glass pieces that are here, because if everyone takes the glass, eventually Glass Beach would no longer be Glass Beach.
From Glass Beach in American Canyon, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
I'm Kevin John. Rolling out the ball. It's something so simple, yet so powerful. Sacramento Republic FC has been rolling out the ball at Folsom State Prison the last 7 years. And you'll be amazed how much a soccer ball and positive attitude gives hope to so many people. It's not your normal morning at Folsom State Prison.
Today's a special day.
This morning, a special group of 32 incarcerated persons were selected to take part in a fun activity.
Oh, man, this is a blessing, you know, having people come out from the street. It's like that sun beaming in from outside. You know, you guys bring that light into prison.
Sacramento Republic FC is holding a training session on the yard, something they've been doing monthly over the last 7 years.
The coach, Mark, and Todd, they come here every rain, shine, they come in here, man.
It's awesome. It gives us a different light into what we could be doing out there. It motivates us and encourages us to continue to do the things that we're doing.
Being in prison, for me, there was a time when I didn't feel like I really had a purpose. And today, waking up, being out here with all these gentlemen, with all the people that volunteered their time, it gives me a sense of purpose.
And it's not just rewarding for those who are incarcerated, it's rewarding for the players as well.
I think it's great to bring a little bit of positivity for them, entertain them for the day. It gives us a different perspective of life.
Man, this program's been incredible for us, for the inmates. It's really special. I think when you're here, you can feel, you know, the kind of mutual respect and mutual love that comes out of it.
Some of the incarcerated individuals challenged me to a quick football game on the field, and I'm never someone to back down from a challenge. But after this happened, I probably should have just sit this one out. Regardless, it was a wonderful day for Republic FC and those who were able to take part in the program. In fact, it was so good, one of those incarcerated wanted to leave us with a joke.
Did you guys know that Bruce Lee had a brother that was vegan? If you didn't know, his name was Broccoli.
All right, welcome back. We are 8 days away from Halloween, and a man in Rockland has transformed his home into quite a spectacle.
The display has become so big and bright, it's caught the attention of newscasts around the world.
ABC 10's Mark S. Allen is with this gentleman, and this home has become a Halloween and certainly soon Christmas landmark. Mark?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'll touch about the Christmas. So, Keegan, you inspired your neighbors because of the Halloween lights. Now they're more wanting to get a part of the action, not so much for the Halloween, but because of this, Christmas blows up on Jackson Court.
It does, yeah. So we attach all of our neighbors to controllers, and it's a whole court that blinks to the music, and it's just a really great event for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'll cut past the technical, but essentially he runs a line or at least a connecting device to all the different houses, so every house in this court is synced to this guy's music, which is awesome. What radio station do they tune into as they drive by?
88.5 FM.
Got it. And he has gotten complaints. This was on BBC News. This was on NBC National News. This was on, of course, ABC10. Because of the attention, the heat, people are saying, what about your power consumption?
That it's using a waste of power, and you know, it's really not. It's running off 2 circuits, and it's all through solar power. So
they drive past the giant LCD billboards leading up to this on 65 and complain about this. It's awesome. What kind of feedback do you get from people driving by?
People just love it generally. It's a great event for the kids, brings the community together. It's just all around a good event. Come check it out.
All right, so the power that is on top of the Golden One that shoots that purple beam in the air, 4 times that amount of power shooting these lights. They're not laser. However, they do illuminate the sky for up to like 5 miles.
Yeah, they go way in the sky at easily 1,000 feet, not laser, but they're lamp-based. So, yeah, they very awesome lights, though.
Yeah. The neighbors to the right, these are the ones I'm most concerned about because in that little green space, you've got flamethrowers.
We do. We drive to the houses. There's 3 flamethrowers, and yeah, you definitely want to check those out. They're on Friday and Saturday nights only, though.
This is awesome. His wife was leaving for work and walked past us earlier, and I said, did you see this coming? Did you know you were getting into all this when you married this guy? She seems to take it well.
She does. She does. It's all a little hobby for me. All the money comes from a little side job that I do, so it all works out well, and everybody has a great time with it.
There you go. I'm going to have you guys go out on this, a little sounds and sights sample. It's Jackson Court in Rockland for all of your Halloween light music needs.
Mark, how long did it take him to get all of these lights, or did he buy it all at once? Was this a big purchase?
Yeah, did you buy them all at once, or how did this happen?
Definitely evolved over several different years.
Evolve!
It started with a pumpkin with a candle in it, and then everything went nuts.
Then the fire came.
And then we have this.
Now we're on TV.
Check it out. It is in Rockland. Marcus Allen, thank you.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus this week. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus app. You can get your news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.
Weekday mornings on ABC 10.
I know what we're doing.
We're getting you ready.
Oh, you're going to know first.
About the breaking news that affects you.
What happened overnight right here in Northern California.
And across America. Plus my 10-day forecast helping you plan and keeping you safe.
That's how we do mornings.
So you're ready to take on the day.
ABC 10 Morning News.
And Good Morning America.
Right here on ABC 10.
See you weekday mornings starting at 5.